Hello, StartUpSity speaking. Let's talk about something that is very important. Um, there is a lot of issues why women come in conflict with men when it comes to working in business and generally in various things. Um, it's due to the contemplative nature of men. The first instinct is to protect themselves because the environment of men is quite violent. So the issue of when conversations are being held, whether in offices or in public places or anywhere else, the first instance for men to listen to anything that comes from anyone is to block it out, and usually once they hear it they go into their hiding space to contemplate about whatever has been said, and for them to come out later to admit that they had been scared in the moment, to say that it was a good idea or not, now becomes a shame game where it's now an accusatory thing. We need to understand basic survival instincts that comes with women and men. Women are more prone to action and making mistakes because that's the instinct of a woman, to try anything to survive, to try anything to connect, because we are vessels that carry the essence of continuation, preservation, and if we understand the animal instincts of women, it's to protect, and that protection now becomes an active desire to actually act first in a very I would say violent manner when it comes to also protecting themselves in a way when they are being confronted. So knowing that speaking to men about anything becomes a problem, I am simply the kind of person that I just say the idea at once and I move on, whether it's accepted or it's not accepted. That's my type of person. I'm not going to be sitting down dilly-dallying, trying to constantly explain one simple thing or the other. I have no time to waste. For instance, I have children to manage, and I've got realistic life threats in dependency and independence. So for me, like many other women who have been in certain positions in management, executive and directorship, and in assisting position, women are always faster to accept an idea and move with it, even if she's going to make an error when it comes to human life. And this is why sometimes women also need to sit back and think and say, listen, you know what, how is it that we are constantly having to prove ourselves that we're human beings and not just tools in this life for just giving birth, that we have destinies and names and ambitions and energies within our bodies, and we are not going to be negotiating with anybody for our stance and personalities, which is why you see that some women are in the offices quite aggressive in explaining their emotions because they've been pushed and shoved from childhood, being told as a woman you have to be this and you have to manage people. The stress gets to women, that why is it that all the time we have to be managing people and not actually achieving anything in this life apart from people, while men are busy with tools and trinkets and creating different kinds of stuff, while women are sitting back and constantly mingling in other people's affairs. For what? Why should that be? I'm of the stance that I'm not going to be constantly in other people's lives. They also have their own life, and they are going to have to move on and live and survive. So yes, men need their cave place where they have to think about whatever it is that they want to do, and so do women. They need their space, they need their time to also come up. And when you say you want a smart woman by your side to be a helper and to move on and do things, that makes her all entangled in your life, and you as a man, you start getting bored with her because she's forever asking you questions. What is it that you really want? If you have a look at the fragment in the film Prince of Egypt, or Moses in the burning bush, he went to take his time to the mountain to go and think and contemplate about what to do with the people that he was supposed to lead. Women also need that time to go and come, because they're dealing with another set type of people, to go ahead and be in a simple or complex environment where they can be in silence with their own self and have a moment of peace. But as soon as women want to have their own space, their own time to think, the next accusation that comes in relationships is, oh, you don't want me anymore, you don't like me anymore, you don't want to be with me anymore. And those are very scary moments where it's like, how? I'm taking a moment for myself to think and be and do things, and I'm being accused all of a sudden that I'm not handling things. I am tired, I'm stressed, I need the moment to myself as well. But men usually take that as a rejection, and before you know it, it starts happening that they are looking for other people to be in their own lives. And women are restricted to how many people they can have in their own lives, to have friends, to see neighbors, to experience themselves and be out there. Also, when men want to find their own time and be themselves and do their own thing, women start pursuing them in that moment. Oh, you don't want me anymore. All those needy moments, one needs to think and reflect and say, oh, okay, if he's going off to go and do something, it's got nothing to do with anybody else but him, and so do I. As a woman, I go ahead and I think about my own life and do my own thing, and I need a moment as well. All these dating issues of how a woman has to be there all the time or a man has to be there all the time, it's not possible, it's not real. The world is overwhelming and everybody needs their space and time and place and moment. Everything has its place and time. And that's the thing that eludes people, space and time. I hope this leaves a good thought for the dating folk. Communication is very possible. But as soon as you have that, somebody's emotions is always going to get hurt. StartUpSity, Bo speaking.